What is going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 42 of our Cincinnati Reds franchise. Today, we get Dallas Kuechel back. So he is officially healthy now, and we sat him on the bench. We put him in the bullpen just to kind of heal up, because if you guys look at the roster right now, he's still kind of, he's still got that Band-Aid going on. He's still going to be out for like 1 to 6 days. So I'm pretty sure that he's going to be good to go. He's healthy enough to start for us in this game against Milwaukee. I'm not going to have any gameplay of the season in this episode because we're going to get straight into the playoffs. So this video will be a playoff type of preview, and then Friday we're going to kick off your guys' weekend to do some playoff matchups. So we don't know who we're going to play against, but I do want to show you guys the standings currently, and then we'll go over like some season statistics, league leaders, and just see how everybody's doing as far as season performance goes. So first things first, let's go into the standings. So we're 6 games up on the Cubs, pretty sizable lead now. So those last few weeks were really crucial. We're 6-4 in our last 10. Cubs are 7-3, so they're definitely chasing us pretty hardcore. Cardinals were in second place the last time you guys saw them, and then now they've kind of dropped back with some Cubs victories and Cardinals losses. So obviously that two game back spread between both of those teams is a reason for that. But we've got a pretty sizable lead now. I don't see us losing that lead unless we go on a massive losing streak here against Pittsburgh and Milwaukee, and then we get Cleveland to finish out the series. I think that we're gonna make it. So it's either that we win the NL Central or we're gonna be in the National League wild card. The Dodgers have already clinched. They're 99-55. 18 games back are the Giants, and the Giants actually had a pretty okay season. That's not world beaters by any means, but they didn't do too bad. The Dodgers are just that much better. The Padres making a pretty hard push. Like we saw in the offseason, they acquired Josh Donaldson. We traded them Robert Stevenson to bolster that pitching staff. So the Padres, watch out for them in 2020. So here's the wild card standings, the Giants. So if somehow an epic collapse happens and like the Cubs take us over, we would still have to lose out to the Cardinals in the wild card and also lose out to the Giants in the wild card, because you guys know that there's 2 wild card teams that make it, right? So obviously that is going to be a very, very big epic collapse. I think we'd probably have to lose every single game from here on out in order for that to happen, or we're going to have to win like maybe 2 or 3 games in the final part of the season in order for that to happen. And guys, I don't think that that's gonna happen. So I think we're pretty solid in that regard. The Phillies and the National League East was so bad this season. Look at that. The Mets were bad. The Marlins were even worse. Nationals 86-68. So they've made it. So they've clinched. So that's cool. The Blue Jays and the Angels. So both teams for the wild card. Actually, let's look. Yes, so the wild card teams are the Blue Jays and the Angels. The Astros have clinched the West. The Red Sox have clinched the East, despite, this is crazy because the Blue Jays made a really hard push at that AL East division title, but the Red Sox made some goofy looking trades, but they still somehow pulled it off. But you know what? They can still catch them though. I mean, there's still time to do it. I kept acting like this was finalized, but it's not. Like there's still some games to be played. Look at the Blue Jays though. They're 5 games on a winning streak, 8-2. So just watch out for the Blue Jays to take home an American League East championship. The Tigers, I always like to check up on the Tigers, but not very good here. 61-93. The Indians are going to clinch the Central, it looks like, barring an epic collapse as well. So 2 Ohio teams. The 2 Ohio teams in Major League Baseball are making the playoffs. So Ohio's having a pretty good 2019. But yeah, so this is a pretty cool playoff bracket. I like all the teams that are involved. I really, really do. I like the Indians, even though I'm a Tigers guy. Red Sox, I used to be a big Red Sox fan when I was a kid. The J.D. Drew days. Who else was there? Veritek, Scott Hatterberg, let's see, who else was there? Trot Nixon, those types of players. Yeah, so it was Nomar Garciaparra. So those 2000-ish 98 Red Sox were always like pretty cool to me. The Cubs, I like the Cubs. Cardinals are okay, but they're not on my top list. The Dodgers, I enjoy the Dodgers. Giants, I like the Dodgers. Pretty much, for you guys that are asking me like who my favorite teams are, this is kind of a sidebar note. The only teams that I do not like in Major League Baseball, right, would be the Yankees. Can't stand the Yankees. And the White Sox. I don't know what it is about the White Sox. I think it's just when I was a kid, the White Sox were somehow just always this evil team to me. You know, that black and white, those pinstripes, you know. My brother, you guys know my brother, if you guys watch the NCAA Team Builder series, he kind of likes the White Sox a little bit, but I've always ripped on him for it. Like, why do you even care about the White Sox? But let's look at the league leaders real quick. 343 for Joey Votto, 30 home runs, 95 ribbies. I don't think he's losing any ground for the batting average title, but Chris Bryant looks like he's definitely going to win the NL MVP. I mean, you're hitting 330, 46 homers, 120 RBIs. That's huge. That's huge. A 411 OBP. Votto, though, has a 431 OBP, so he's actually a little bit better in that regard. But when you're hitting 46 home runs, 120, you should be definitely up there in that discussion. Brandon Crawford, somehow, that's crazy to me. That's really crazy. 25 home runs for the slick fielding shortstop, over 100 RBIs. Big time production. Anybody surprising on this list? Not really. Other than Schebler, 294, 31 home runs, 96 RBIs. Yeah, so I mean nothing crazy. I thought maybe there might have been like one guy that was, you know, like, oh man, what, really? But check this out. You guys remember in the offseason, Bryce Harper decided to go to the Oakland Athletics. I don't understand the move, but hey, more power to him. He is from Las Vegas, so maybe that's why. Because there was talk that, I mean, I know the Oakland Raiders are going to Las Vegas, but I think, I totally could be mistaken on this. I might be confusing the city names for Oakland, but I think Oakland was in talks of becoming Vegas. I could be wrong. I might get some heat for it, but I might be wrong. But maybe that's why he's doing that. It could be. He's playing the fortune teller role, right? Mike Trout, 41 home runs, 127 RBIs. Carlos Correa, 40 for 112. Not bad, kid. Not bad. Justin Upton, 40 home runs for J-Up, 124 RBIs. That's crazy good. George Springer, 27. Cano, 20 home runs. Francisco Lindor, 16. Elvis Andrus, somehow up here. This is batting average. This isn't voting. But yeah, this is kind of cool to see him up there. Alex Dickerson, that, you know, I could actually see this kind of move happening for Detroit. He's relatively young. You know, he has shown that he can play in the major leagues. You know, this season right here in 2016 for San Diego. Did not play last season. This season, I'm not sure where he's at. I think maybe he's still playing for San Diego. I could be wrong there too, but yeah, it could happen. It could happen for sure. Neil Walker. He seems like an Oakland Athletic to me. He just does. Zach Cozart, 16 home runs. Reddick, 14 home runs. So pretty usual suspects, I would say. Let's go to some more statistics here. Doubles. Votto with 35. And you guys can see the other list here. Nick Williams with 35. That's crazy. But McCutch. And yes, I said McCutch. I meant to say Kutch. And then Brandon Crawford. Doubles hitters for sure. Triples. Scott Schebler with 9 triples. What is that? I think they overrate Scott Schebler's speed in this game with 71. 71 speed. That's crazy. Billy Hamilton. He's beating Billy Hamilton. We got to change that. So Billy, we got to get you on and got to push you for some triples. We can't have Scott Schebler leading the National League in triples. That just can't happen. Home runs, Suarez with 33, Schebler with 31, 30 for Votto. Like I was telling you guys that yeah, this team has got like over 90 home runs with the 3-4-5 hitters. Like that's big time. But challenging us would be Seager and Bellinger. And then obviously we got Chris Bryant at 46. So RBIs, obviously Chris Bryant, if you're going to hit 46 home runs, you're definitely going to be way up there, 120. So there's no catching him if you're Joey Votto. You're going to have like 30 RBIs in the next week and a half. So that's probably just not going to happen. But Billy Hamilton, 48 stolen bases. So nice to see him have that jump from last season. I know last season we were really dogging him. The power numbers have gone up. Not surprising at all because this is technically a contract year for him yet again. So the RBIs are up, the home runs are up, stolen bases are up. Batting average is still pretty much the same. This is just what you're going to get. So the thing with Billy is like, you know, you take these numbers. You just take it, right? Obviously, you want someone who's going to be able to provide a little bit more offense than he does. But, you know, when the guy's hitting double-digit home runs and he's around 250, you know, you take it. You take it. That's still a pretty solid major league performance for a season. But, you know, when we're looking at the way that our roster shapes up, it just doesn't pan out for 2019. We got to get some young guys some experience. So Billy is probably on his way out. And then we got Joey Votto with 84 walks, so definitely on pace for the league lead. He would need 9. Like he needs to go on a torrid pace for that in order to be number 1. On base percentage, no surprise there. Joey Votto is consistently always leading in that category. Even if he's in the top 5, he's always right there. So I like to see that. Slugging percentage, no surprise. Chris Bryant is killing it in that regard too. Clayton Kershaw, Maeda, DeGrom, Seth Lugo. That's just really surprising to me. No Reds on that National League list. Nathan Carnes. Wow, 15 home runs allowed. That's the low. That's actually, you know what? That's not surprising. That's not surprising because it is the American League with the DH. It's just harder to pitch there. You can see the National League numbers are down. Yeah, I mean that's not surprising. Shutouts. No Reds there, but Madison Bumgarner 5 shutouts. My goodness. So he's had 5 complete games then. That is filthy. David Price was 6 shutouts. The K's. We like seeing strikeouts here. Corey Kluber, Sale, Salazar, Carrasco. Man, Indians pitching staff. They got 4 guys in the top 12. Clevenger, Carrasco, Salazar, Kluber. That's unreal. Luis Castillo, 196. Gotta love that. Complete games, 8 for Mad Bum. Holy cow, guys. All right, so I think we're good with checking out the statistics in the league leaders. Let's check out the awards. So Chris Bryant, Joey Votto is not even on the list anymore. He's kind of fell off a little bit just due to his recent stretch, but I think he was deserved of it. Way back in July, I think he was still hitting like 360, 370. So he's lost 30 to 40 batting points in 2 months. So he's definitely gone a little bit cold. American League, you guys can see Mike Trout and Upton for the MVP. Cy Young, Chris Sale, Scherzer. Definitely got to do that. Joey Votto for the batting title. So that's cool. Sammy Solis for reliever of the year. Austin Riley, rookie of the year. I'd give it to him. 70 ribbies. Yeah, you'd want to do that. Hank Aaron award. Dang it. I wish Votto was in first place for that. Gold Gloves. Real Muto. Freddie Freeman as Drupal. Suarez at third base. That's surprising. So Arenado is not even on the list. So let's get Gino a Gold Glove at third base. So we don't want any more errors. No more errors out there. Silver Slugger for catcher. There's Scooter at the bottom. Look at all of our Reds representation here. Shebs. Nice. Gotta love it. Postseason MVP still has yet to be decided. So there you guys go. Just giving you guys a little stats update around the league. So kind of what basically what this serves like is that we know kind of who's doing what on the season, so it sets up for the playoffs. So we have an idea of what we're up against. And I think just from looking at this, the Angels are, if we make it to the World Series, which is not a guarantee. Jalen Beeks. He was actually just traded in real life. But yeah, it's not a guarantee, guys. It's not a guarantee at all. And just from looking at the opportunity of who we might play, it's looking like it might be the Red Sox or the Angels. It's just me. So let's go ahead and simulate past this entire season. Let's finish the 2019 season. I will go over end of season statistics for everybody just to see where everybody ended up in our roster. And then from there, I'll have the contest going for the end of season. And just pick your playoff brackets and see who is going to win and who you guys think is going to take home the World Series title. And I will go over the structure for that and what you guys have at stake to win. So let's go ahead and simulate. And hopefully there's no injuries. I'm doing this live. So let's do this. All right, guys, so here is the playoff bracket. We've got Cincinnati against Washington, so kind of a cool matchup there. It's how we started off our 2018 series. So that's everything. Everything seems to be coming to a head here in this series, so pretty cool. Chicago and St. Louis in the wild card, Toronto and LA in the wild card, Cleveland and Houston, Boston and LA were first place in their respective divisions. So as far as the contest goes, for every matchup that you get correct, so say you pick Chicago over St. Louis, Cincinnati over Washington, Houston over Cleveland, Toronto over LA, that's Toronto is 1, Houston is 2, Cincinnati's 3, Chicago's 4. So you get 4 points in the first round if you got everything correct in the first round, right? So that's how that would work. So each matchup you get correct is worth 1 point. So if you guys get the World Series winner correct, you get 2 points. So 2 points bonus. And then from there, we'll see how it all shakes out. If there's a tie for first place, I'm just going to still include you guys all in and say you guys are the off-season advisors for the 2019 off-season. Now for the grand prize winner, I don't have really anything in store for that just yet. There's a couple things that I'm thinking about, but this is all, of course, if I'm pretty sure there's gonna be ties. I don't like doing tiebreakers because it's a lot to track. It really is. It's a lot to track, and plus with what we're doing with it, I like to be more interactive and engaged with you guys in series. So the more people that win, the merrier, in my opinion. So that is the playoff bracket, and that is the contest, and we'll get right into that in episode number 43. So let's take a look at the end of season results. So Luis Castillo, we'll start off with pitching first. Castillo's a 94 overall this season. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do for us next year. So looking at Dallas Kuechel here, 10-6 with a 2.9. I like his performance. DeSclafani went even, 11-11. And this is what I was talking about last season, and even in the offseason, guys. This is a number 3 type of starting pitcher. That's just the way that it is. 11-11. Could you imagine if he was 11-11 in the number 2 slot? Like, we probably wouldn't have made the playoffs, honestly. If we were hanging our hat on DeSclafani to be an above 500 pitcher, that's a lot to ask for. That's stretching guys out for sure. I really wanted to skip the Tyler Mahle's number. Yeah, 61 innings, a 2.77. I think he's earned a starting gig next season. I'm actually pretty pumped about that. Sal Romano, it looks like he lost his job. Big Sal. I don't like saying that because, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Romano might have lost his job, guys. He's got 100 less innings, so he doesn't have as much wear and tear on his arm. But you got to give the ball the hot hand, right? In the playoffs, we might even go. We can't really go with a 3-man rotation here in the playoffs, just because with Dallas Keuchel's injury, that was a major blow for him. He had a broken hand, guys. Like, that's something that we have to keep in mind with. And you don't want to stretch him out like that in the playoffs. He's signed with us for 5 more seasons. Well, 5 years, 4 more years, pretty much. And we're going to be paying him a lot of money. So we need him to be healthy for the rest of his career. And we got Kevin O'Graven with us 3.7, so I like to see that. Brandon Finnegan somehow got dropped to AAA, so I'm going to have to figure out what happened with that and make a change. So we'll have to get to that in real quick in 1 second. So Amir Garrett, 3.5. He was doing a really good job for us out of the bullpen. Tyler Mahle, you guys saw that. Sal Romano. Let's see. Yeah, we can't take a look at any of the minor league players. So taking a quick look at relief pitching, we got Leclerc pitched pretty well for us as our Rule 5. Crockett did pretty good himself. Zach Weiss with a 3.1, and Austin Bryce. And guys, here's the deal with Austin Bryce. I hate to do it. This is such a tough call. But when you've got Brandon Finnegan, who did what he did for us all season long, just to get dumped off of the playoff roster, I gotta do it, guys. I gotta do it. And I hate doing it to a guy like Austin Bryce because I love pitching with Austin Bryce. I think he's awesome for us. But we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to do it, guys. So there you go. Brandon Finnegan is back up, and then Austin Bryce is going to have to be removed. Yes, I hate it. I hate making cuts like that. It sucks. It sucks so hard. But the other one I wanted to talk to you guys about was this. Taylor Trammell. I think he has earned himself a playoff roster spot. Do you guys think that Charlie Culberson has deserved a playoff spot? In my opinion, at 221, he can only really hit left-handed pitching. Taylor Trammell can do a little bit of everything. He's got some power. He's got some speed. His fielding is better out there. I think that Culberson has to be sent down. That's my thought process. But I would love to know what you guys think. I'm not going to advance into a playoff situation or a game yet. I want to know what you guys think. And post the comments below. You guys will definitely be involved in that because, well, you guys have always been here and making decisions and helping this Reds team get better, right? So I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are. Jesse Winker, 302 with 17 home runs. Like it. Love it. Yeah. I like it. But look at this, 18-year-old Thomas Moore, 70 overall right now. So he's pushing. He's pushing hard. This kid's going to be great. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do for us in the next coming season. Billy Hamilton, 246. You guys saw his statistics later on. Schebler, nothing's really changed. 333 for Scott Schebler. So the batting average for him ever since we took over has just kept steadily increasing. He's got 1 more home run than he had last season, 5 more RBIs than he had last season. The stolen bases have gone up. OBP has gone up. So Scott Schebler he's been great. He's been great for this Cincinnati Reds team. So now we're on to Jose Peraza, 240 batting average at shortstop. Like, the thing with Jose Peraza, guys, he's a bench player. You know, you can't get around that. He's a bench guy. You can't hit 240 and have a 288 batting average with no power and really no defense and play shortstop. You can't do it. Like, you can deal with a shortstop that at shortstop you gotta be able to do it all, right? And if you can't do it all, you have to do one thing really well. And if you can't do anything really well, then you're just kind of not supposed to be out there with the starting 9. Like, I remember back in the Detroit Tigers a couple years ago, Johnny Peralta, right? Everybody kept talking about his fielding percentage was so good, so great. Well, he couldn't move. He was so slow at shortstop, right? So the balls that he could get to, right, he could easily make a good throw and get outs. But balls that he could not get to, he didn't even attempt, right? So he wasn't even in the vicinity out there. So it did not go against his fielding percentage, right? But he hit for a lot of power while he was here with Detroit. So while he wasn't the greatest fielder, he could hit, right? And normally, sometimes if you're seeing a shortstop or a middle infielder or any type of player who's hitting 240, they have to play good defense. And Peraza doesn't even do that, right? I mean, we see that in action here with Billy Hamilton, right? Doesn't really hit, but he's an amazing defensive player, right? And when he does get on, he can offer you something with stolen bases. Well, Peraza doesn't do that, right? So that's concerning. So, but you guys saw that Nick Senzel kind of came on late in the season, and he's our starter. He's our starter at shortstop for this entire playoffs. But one thing to note, every time I do edit Senzel to shortstop, his overall goes down for whatever reason. So I'm just not going to deal with that. I'm going to stick him at third, and I'm just going to put him at shortstop in our lineup section, and that'll be fine. But you guys see his statistics there. I like what I see from Senzel. So he's definitely put in the hard work to become better for us, and I think now's the time. Now's the time for the young kid to step up and help us in a big way going forward, and for his career too. Looking forward to it. Eugenio Suarez, 87 overall, 264. Just missed the 100 RBI clip by 1. 35 bombs. It's really good. Jeanette didn't have a really good season. 250 with 22 home runs, but it's a solid season. It's not something that I would have liked out of Scooter this year. I think he'll be better next year, though. I really do. I mean, this is kind of what he sims at, really. 72 ribbies, 250, 244. Yeah, so he's just basically a pretty steady sim player, even though I think he's better than what we've seen. Votto ended the season with 346, 32 home runs, 105. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. But look at that. This decline. This is a little concerning, right? Still good enough to be our starter for 2020, but just keep that aware that he is on the decline, and Pavin Smith is definitely on the upswing. So I think that Pavin Smith, if he shows us a good performance next spring, that he'll definitely be up with the big club. I still love Tommy Joseph's bat off the bench here in the playoffs, so he's got to stay up. So there is your Reds stats updates, guys. Yeah, like I said, though, the last thing is just let me know what you want to do with the Culberson Trammell type of deal. I think Trammell has earned a spot. I really do. If you guys look at his stats here, when he was up here with us, he had 345 in 13 games, right? He was 10 for 29, 6 runs scored. I don't know. I don't think he can leave a guy like that on the or off the playoff roster, really. Culberson is great. Like he can do things for us against lefties, but it's just not enough. 220 is not enough. So let me know what you guys think. I think the unanimous vote, I already think I know what the unanimous vote is going to be, but I'd love to still know your guys' thoughts. So episode 43 will be game number 1 against the Washington Nationals, and I'm excited for it. I think that Kuechel will be our opening. That's tough. I think we're going to go Luis Castillo for game 1. That way in game number 2, it could be a shutdown game if Castillo wins. We could get Kuechel going in game 2, get up on a 2-0 lead, and you only need 3. You only need three wins in the NLDS or the divisional series. So yeah, I think it'll be pretty clutch. It'll be pretty clutch. All right, so that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Leave a like if you like this thing, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that little red button on the bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, or my logo is also in the bottom right-hand corner in order to do that. And yeah, so I'll see you guys on Friday. Go Reds, and I will see you guys in the next one. As always, peace.